Now afternoon, so good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon. It's a great honor standing here again this year. Though I was bombarded, coerced, harassed, that I must be here, like practically almost every month they kept reminding me, you know, May 2018, not be part of this conference. I said I hope you're going to be around. So they kept on like, no, we fix a date that somehow you will find it convenient. So somehow when the date eventually came, I kind of cancelled so many things to be here, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm really glad I'm here. Because women, you know, when I saw the brochure said women, work, relationship and marriages. Is women, work and wahala. Women, work and worries. Joint marriages and relationships. In the Nigerian context, it's not wahala. When you look at it, you know, in the larger context outside the country, it's worry because they won't understand what we call wahala. But before I go into my topic for today, which is many are mad, but few are roaming. Let it sink in. Many are mad, but few are roaming. I want to use this opportunity to thank the conveners and say that I was so happy that Dr. Abbas, right, yes, spoke before me, and she talked about the vanishing baby syndrome. A lot of us, I'm sure if you're on Google, you will have Googled it to now understand what that really meant. And so I want to tell the conveners, between now and 31st of this month, please, I want to give you this opportunity. I counted everybody in this room, we should be over 100. You only make excuses if you don't want to do something. So I don't want people to make that excuse. I want to give opportunity to everybody in this hall, if possible, if you can make it, to watch our movie, Little Drops of Happy. It's free. It's going to be in Genesis the Palms Mall between now and May 31st. It's being sponsored by Ford Foundation. It talks on depression, postpartum depression, domestic violence, and suicide. It's an hour 14-minute movie, and everything in that movie is relatable. And the vanishing baby syndrome is in that movie. So I was so happy when she talked about it. And I said, oh wow. So we also have real life stories that we didn't capture there. So if it is possible, sir, like I said, it's only at Genesis the Palms if you are in Lagos. Those that are outside Lagos, Lake Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Kaduna, right, can still take that opportunity. We just need a minimum of 100 people to say, yes, I have this organization. 100 people can be available that day to watch the movie free. And like I said, it's already sponsored. So you don't capitalize on it, it only goes back to me, but here the money does. I don't want the money. I want people to really take that opportunity to go watch something. Not every time you go to the movie and laugh. There are some things there that are very comedian, but we want people to take away that strong message that, look, I have watched this movie, I've been there once, and these were the things I was able to do. Because apart from talking about it, the treatment options and all other options are in the movie for us to watch. So maybe we'll discuss after so that we can, you know, leverage on this opportunity and see how it goes. So many are mad, but few are roaming. So the man you see out there is the person you assume is mad, right? So when you say, I don't like this, it stagnates. It makes me look as if I'm doing a presentation on slides. It's kind of boring. I don't know, but I love to walk when I'm presenting. It gives me that feel-good feeling, you know. Doctor, that, you know, that feeling good. It helps me because the little movement I'm doing helps me boost up the happy hormone, which is endorphin. Somehow, so I feel good. And that's what you have to take away. Don't see exercise as a bad thing. Don't see it. If you're in the office for every 1 hour, you sit for 55 minutes, get up for 5 minutes to do whatever. Walk around, you receive a call, stand up and receive the call. Don't sit down. There's a lift in your office. No, go up on the staircase, leave the lift. Because for every time you burst a sweat, the happy hormone called the endorphin is released and it makes you happy. For free. It's for free. So you don't need to be jumping to the gym, go and pay money. There are so many things you can do for free that makes you happy, that improves on your mood. So the people you see on the street is just 1 to 2% of those that are mentally ill. And those are the people in your mind think they are mad. So where do you think the 98% of people came from? It's off. It's off. Oh. Let me say it in Nigerian way. It is off. Oh. Why am I saying it is off? It's because for each and every one of us there, at some point in our life, we are ruffled. She said there are certain things we are given. We are given the fact that you are in Nigeria. Can you take it away? You are in Nigeria. You have been given that you are in this family. But the truth is that this 98%, you can change so many things. You dress up well, decide to eat well, decide to choose who to be with. But the 98% are the people you see on a day-to-day basis in the offices, in your homes, people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. But they are not mad to you because they are all well dressed. We have makeup on as women. The men are wearing suits. So literally we call it package madness. We are packaged. But somehow, something must have touched somewhere that you wouldn't know. And it goes to the fact that you shouldn't bottle up. That is why you see people doing some things out of proportion, wondering, I know this person, it wasn't like this before. So the question is, what has changed? That this person got to this level, that there was this outburst. So that is one thing we need to know. Bottling up never helps your emotional stability. So all of us here have the 5 arms of awareness. Physical awareness, social awareness, spiritual awareness, emotional awareness, psychological awareness. Did I mention financial awareness? Financial, you know, if you are not financially well, there's a problem. You tell yourself, what is my business is spiritual. In fact, if you drive away spiritual awareness, like, God, why should it be me that won't have money when all my siblings have money? It kind of counteract. So in all of them, you are not saying it must be 100%. At least an average is what you aim. But oftentimes we focus more on our physical awareness. Sometimes spiritual, because Nigerians are very prayerful, but not spiritual. Two different things. Two totally different things. So you must balance it. So when it comes to work-life balance, I keep telling people, no, it's work-life integration. We are the mothers in this crowd today. Mothers. I'm not saying the singles, so I will come and praise the singles. We are the mothers. Let me see your hands. Mothers. So today is Friday, 18th May 2018. Most of the mothers here, I'm sure some of them also have children, right? And then the children are in school. So you prepared your mind to be here today. Obviously, your child is in school, maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4, depending on the extracurricular activity. Before you left your house, you will have prepared how that child will go back home. If you are not the one going to take that child home. You will have prepared making sure lunch will have been taken care of. You will have even prepared dinner. Then you look at, okay, what don't I have over the weekend? So that I won't be running up and down the whole place. Is that not how we just get things doing? Some of us are on the phone, not because they want to pay attention to the speakers talking, because something has come up that they are quickly trying to rectify. So the issue of women and multitaskers is there. But are we productive with our multitasking abilities? No. Because women are very emotional, especially when it comes to the negative emotions. Negative emotion, because we are looking at women in this conference. The men, thank you for all the men that are here. We need men to make progress. It takes two to tango. So even if you are talking about feminism, women this, women that, we need the men. And I tell people, anywhere you get to a place where you are talking to women, get the men to listen, because we need them to implement these things we are talking about. If they are not there, forget it. We are just making noise. We are just giving rules, giving strategies that will not work. You will not go back home. You are not trying to get that man to implement what he didn't hear, he didn't know, he didn't feel it. So because I'm facing the camera, I want to thank Mr. Yusuf Asamakagi, my dear husband. The reason is because the convener is here with her husband. The fourth couple, Dr. Abbas, is here with her husband. Dr. Temi Abodeli is here with her husband, and I'm not here with her husband. Please, once again, thank you, Mr. Yusuf Asamakagi. I don't know who is here that knows him. They will go and tell him, I saw your wife. And she was there advising women. Did she tell you where she was going to this morning? Me, I already told the man I'm going to the office and I'm here speaking. And of course, with the era of internet, they will just send a picture of me talking now and send to him. And like, but this woman didn't say she has a conference. So what is she there doing? So, like I said, please tell him I've appreciated him. I have to. Because once he makes the home unsettled for me, I'm unsettled. I won't be here talking. I'll be here physically, psychologically, I'm damaged. And this is exactly how some of us are going day to day. And then you greet woman good morning, she didn't answer, you'll be angry. You greeted her good morning, it's because of your values. She not answering you is not within your control. And oftentimes we hit ourselves so hard. Why did she answer me? She's angry with me. Did I offend her? No, this. You don't need that. Change your perception. I see her convener this one. I say, oh, this your dress is too bright. She may not take it well, she may take it well. And people do that. This is why I said change your perception. Change it in such a way that, what if I'm feeling dull? That is why I'm seeing that your shirt is bright. So she's not seeing what you're saying. What if genuinely she loves it? Don't always look at it as a bad thing. That she's trying to run me down because I'm finer than her. My dress is finer. If you always say things in your own perception, this 98% we're talking about is a major thing. So statistically, in Nigeria, I would like to use the 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we are 7 years. So oh, good. I love this row. So you see that second row, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yes. Statistically, if you watch channels in this morning, we saw that boy that was telling us about statistics. These are the real things. The 4 of them there, 1 out of the 4 of them there, we have a mental illness in their lifetime. Will. Don't cast and bind. This is statistics. And this is where we get it wrong. Don't cast and bind. It will happen. Why am I saying it will happen? Because some of them are already sitting on the edge because of their childhood adversities. Either they came from a divorce home, either they came from a family that was domestic violence, either they were sexually abused, either they came from a family where we call citizen. Father is always saying go, go, mother is always saying come, come. They are already sitting at that pedestal, just waiting for something to happen, a trigger. The trigger now is, I started a business, it's not the way it is. Or I'm in a home, my husband is not my confidant, my husband is hostile to me. Domestic violence, again from home, now to marriage. And person will not break down. So 1 out of the 4 of them will have a mental illness in their lifetime. It's statistics. But for the first row, there are 5. 1 out of these 5 on here right now is currently depressed. It may be an issue of denial. And the depression I'm talking about is not the one that has torn her clothes, is not violent. No, it could be mild depression. Like person may never know that he or she is going through that. Especially our men. The African man will say, no, it's for the weak people. African men don't get depressed. They do. But because as women, especially the married women here, that have boys, when they are crying, what do we tell our boys? Men don't cry. They grow up wired that way. So when they are dealing with issues, they don't say it. They don't. So we need to change the narrative. We need to begin to start telling ourselves the truth. We need to start telling ourselves that these things can happen. It must not necessarily be me, but we can learn from other people's experiences. We need to start encouraging help-seeking behavior. We need to stop telling people, if you listen to my own problem now, because the person has come with her problem, crying and telling you this is what I'm going through, and yet you are not telling the person, just wait, let's listen to my own. So this person is going to go away with two problems. That, yours, and they'll be convincing and say, Mom's not as bad as my own. My own is not, look at her, she's always looking very glam. Slay mama, and look at her, no. In fact, let me go and start thanking my God. It's a temporary feeling. Within the next 1-2 weeks, your problems will resolve from where it's buried. And then you run to another person. The person tells you that. Before you eventually get there, 3, 4, 6 months will have reached, and nobody has actually told you what to really do. That is why I say we have to encourage help-seeking behavior. Yes, God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So let's use it. Listen more, talk less. Listen to people's issues. If they genuinely come to tell you what their problems are, because the first pathway to healing is break the silence. So for them to choose you, you should count yourself lucky. If you can't improve the silence, don't say anything. Listen. When the person has finished talking, what is problems? Wait, how can we go about it? Not, it's because you did this. No wonder. By the time you become judgmental, you involve criticism. This person is not going to get help. But when you say, how can I help you? How can I help you do this? Or where should we seek for it? The person, in fact, just by talking, because the first line of managing mild depression is talking, talking to a trusted friend, talking to a counselor, talking to a therapist. It's not medication. Because when you hear depression, they say, it's medication. No, it's not. Between stress and depression, there are 2 things, there are letters that are common, right? Stress, depression. Who can quickly pick out those 4 letter words? Risk. So if you are stressed, it's embedded in depression. Just know that now. One factor that is very common among most medical conditions, but the reason why you see a doctor 75% because you are stressed. So the stress is now manifesting in a physical form. Headache, body pain, I'm running temperature, I'm not happy, joint pain, I'm not sleeping well. Because if you are stressed, it must manifest outwardly, and the way it comes outwardly is your physical manifestation. Sometimes you may not know it, sometimes somebody has to tell you. Like Baja, for the past 2 weeks I've noticed you. Something has changed. You are no longer yourself. You've not been eating so well. You've not been talking. No, you must itemize it for that individual. Not where you. I don't even understand what is happening to you. The fact that you've been misbehaving. In fact, we can't be going for parties together. You are not helping. And we are wondering why we are having increase in suicide rate in Nigeria. It's going to increase more. It's not that I'm praying. If we do not begin to change the narrative and start having a different perspective to people with emotional instability, things are not going to change. We have to change that. We have to encourage people. We have to motivate. People ask me and ask me, how do you cope? And I tell them I go for therapy. I can't sit down my desk every day. People pour out so many negative emotions on me, and you think I'll be sane? There are too many things I'm carrying on. People that have been to where I've spoken before, I've told them that I've had a woman who told me she was going to kill her husband. That was when I started my practice early. I'm like, okay, it's not going to do it. The next day it was all over the news. And you think I will remain sane somehow. I had to go for debriefing, psychological debriefing, fast, because I kept remembering everything she said. And I had a duty to care for her. I also had a duty to protect her husband. I could have broken this confidentiality, which I uphold as a Hippocratic oath, but I just felt it was just one of those things. Now you can't joke with me with those things, though. You said I'm breaking it right in front of you. And I'll get the lawyer to tell you, look, this is the reason why. Because I don't know if you are going to actually carry out your act. So please, the first rule to be more psychological or emotionally more stable is know yourself. If you don't know yourself, nobody can know you. You can't pretend. That's why social media is just making people more and more depressed. People will go for a photo shoot one day and go one photo shoot, they will go with 20 clothes and snap with different posture. So every day they are posting different ones. So you think this person is a slave mama that is enjoying life, deceiving you are being deceived, and you don't get depressed on top of somebody's own fake life. I visited one of the celebrities in Nigeria. She was going through no huge domestic violence. That day was her husband's birthday. She was still telling the social media person that does her social media, please post it. I love my boo. And I said, you called me to come to your house and you love your boo with this black hand. I said, why are you deceiving your fans? This person has millions of followers. But you see, no, I have to just do it for the glamour. I said, but you are dying. But you are dying. I've had a case where a woman packed, was it last week or 2 weeks I talked about it? That's my very good friend, and especially for women out here. You know the issue of work-life situation. She has a shop, easy cook, where you can just sit on your phone and make your order, and everything will be on your table. You don't need to run to my store. People are already wearing our boots for us. It's their business, let them do it for you. Don't, because of that 2,000 and you enter traffic 3 hours to 5 hours, bro, you will kill yourself, you will die before that. That 2,000 will not buy you anti-malaria. So just be wise. Give it to them, they've already known how to manage it. They will manage it and your property. In fact, when I started, thank God, because I have somebody I'm visiting on Sunday and I need to order a basket of food. It's just to say, Sada, please, this, and she will deliver it to. So we need to understand all that. Send your money message. Don't hold it. Because you will just stress out. It will manifest in the physical form. You either get depression, you either be, ill. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. So this woman last year came to us and gave me a key. And when I saw the car outside, Range Rover Supercharged, I think that is one of the topmost Range Rover. And she told me, said, look, I can stay in any hotel I want to stay in the world. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, but I don't want to stay there because the moment they give me my room key, they won't care about me. But here's the facility, and I know you will care about me because I'm here with you, and you make sure I am safe, you make sure I eat, and you make sure that you talk to me to be well. It took us 2 hours to be in our room. Of course, we were monitoring her through CCTV. We put security in front of her room. We made sure we took away all dangerous objects so that she won't go and kill herself under our roof. So the media will not like the way they will carry her name. Will be like if we were helping her. Then after 72 hours, when she wants to order for her, she don't send me text. I say, Asha, she won't answer something. We said to her. She now came down. By the time she gave me the story, tissue box some weeks, 2, 3, finished in my office. Here's one of our staff here, Anita, she's a psychologist. She knows they replace. We cry together, we hold hands, we pray. I'm a Muslim, but we will pray that Jesus, God is where, God, we will do the rosary, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I can do all those things, I can read him. This is what the well-being, this is what God said, I can read the hymn, Psalm 23, I can do it. Yes? But if it's true spirituality, we are going to break the ice, let us go through there. Likewise, 3 years ago, a lady, because these are real life stories, she walked down, all her clothes torn, rumpled. She came to the reception. I was fighting our staff. I need to speak to Dr. Kaji. They were said, you are not registered, number one. Number two, you don't even have it. You are not on our appointment list. I need to. And I was watching her in her cameras, and I came out. I said, what? See, I know you gave the talk in so place, and you said that if you have issues, you have to talk to somebody. If you let me go, I'm going to kill myself. This is somebody who has left her phone. Later we got to know that in her house, she left all her phones and left. So they didn't know where she was. She was with us 3.5 days. I went on social media, got her name, send messages. She was married. She's married rather to her husband. Who doesn't patronize social media? So he never read her message. I didn't know how to get her help because I don't know where she lives, who she is. I know who she was, but you know, every other thing I didn't know. But what would we do? I told her nurses she was going to make a phone call. If she makes a phone call, let's hold on to that number. It took 48 hours plus. Around 11 p.m. she now said she wants to call somebody in the factory, somewhere outside Lagos. The moment she called, the nurse passed the number to me, and that was how we were able to find people. And they eventually came. They've been searching for, they almost declared her missing. Because all her phones were already at home. She was already suicidal, she was depressed, nobody around her understood. And the reason why she left home that day was because that morning her pastor still prayed for her and told her that, look, this is a spiritual attack. And I want you to go away with this. Not all your problems are spiritual. Yes. Especially when it comes to our emotional and mental well-being, we always think it's spiritual. So back to Center Church. We are holding it now. Church do not say back to center if you hit the wall, right? And when you hit the wall, what happens? Catch it, catch it. So why are we deceiving ourselves? There's something like back to sender. Who will receive it? Face reality and deal with your issues. And why some people can't deal with their issues because they don't even know they have issues. And that now lies on you, the friend, the family, the relative, the colleague at work to say, something has changed. Let me help you. It's 100% when you take the person's hand and help the person seek for help. We always wonder, but you can say you don't have the time, but don't start planning for the person's funeral when the person eventually dies. Is that not sad? You say, but I can't help you, I don't have time, I don't have time, when the person has died, and let us do a shady. Yes. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Mental illnesses are real. The statistics are there. Depression is real. If there's an English like that, is there an English like that? I don't know. I studied in Greek, Spanish, medicine, digital minima brevis, and all those medical terms. I didn't study in English, so somehow, pardon me if I said something unreal. But the truth is that if we do not understand where we are coming from, but we understand where we are going to, and you not take charge of where you are coming from, and the reality of where you are now is worked on zero. You can't make progress for where you are going to, where you haven't taken cognizance of where you are coming from, and the reality of things on ground now. When I saw the post online that said, add it to your CV, living in Lagos, I supported. Lagos is the most stressful city to live in the world, third after Afghanistan and Iraq. Our war zone. We are not war zone, so what is our problem? The war among us, traffic will kill us, challenges. So as a Lagosian, you need to understand that your stress level is higher than the Ibadan person, the Akure person. So you need to know how to manage yourself, manage your stress, delineate, in fact, fumigate your friend circle. Only move with people that are in the same mission with you, people that will uplift you. You don't need downers. You don't need people that will bring you down. You don't need people that will tear you apart. Ever going. Anytime you see them, you see a KK bread following them. They are moving. Because the lady carrying a KK bread knows that anybody that pass the work going will look like KK bread. So you need to move. If you are the smartest amongst your friends, change your friend circle. Change it. You are not going to get anything. Don't try to be the smartest in the room. So how would they improve your life? They wouldn't. And it's not good for your mental health, because anytime you bring problems, say, but you know you are the best now. You know if you have smarter people amongst your circle, you may be a bit stupid when you are asking some questions, but it's okay. You're going to gain, you're going to learn, you're going to improve yourself. And what you learn in that circle, when you are not shining with it, nobody will know the circle you are coming from. So you need to understand our emotional well-being needs positivity. She has so itemized so many things. So I don't want to be going into words of affirmation. She has brought down so many pointers on how to build on our emotions. But like I said, knowing yourself is very good. Learn how to say no when necessary. It doesn't mean you are arrogant, it doesn't mean you are a bad person. Don't take too much. Everything, yes, yes. You will die. Let's just be frank to ourselves. Learn how to say no politely. I'm sorry. As it is right now, I can't. I have this, and that's it. Women, see, this drug abuse we are shouting, you know a lot of women are abusing drugs? Yes. I know the problem with women abusing drugs is that they won't go to joints like the women, like George, you know. And the maker, where's the maker? They won't go, you won't go, you and I won't go. You will rather sit at home and take it. And drinking alone is the worst form of drinking. Nobody will tell you, madam, you don't do. You drink to stupor. You drink to death. But drinking in joy, they say, it's okay, it's okay. You know you need to drive back home. So drug abuse among women is also on the increase. Where I did my training at Psychiatric Hospital Yaba, we have an 80-bedded ward just for drug abuse, addiction, rehabilitation, and all that. For men, not for women. But as time goes on, they found that women were now increasing. So where do we need to put them? Now they don't still have a word, but they put them in other words, and there will be increase. I don't know one single factor that makes women break down. That's why I said I like the topic for this. Relationships. Husband, boyfriend, child with special needs, in-laws, your own family people putting a lot of pressure on you. So there is what now? 18th. By 20th, 25th, some of us will be paid. Auntie, sister, I just want to greet you. All those thoughts will start coming in. The pressure will be mounted. So you see where this relationship thing, how it can make or man us. But we as individuals, especially the women, we need to make it work for us. So you need a healthy support system, and that's where the role of the man comes in. The role that your friends come in. I did say a support system. Your support system must be healthy. If your support system is not healthy, you don't have a support. If it is healthy, they will help you see where there are issues. Some of us live in an estate where on a road, you have 5 or 6 parents that have their children in the same school. 6 cars will leave that estate. Why? What happened to carpooling? No, they are driving Kiara. My own is Lexus J, please. How can my children go and enter Kiara? That is why those 2 boys in the UK were fighting. My father is richer than yours. Is that not mental insanity? So we need to build the future. The future is now. And the future leaders are the ones that we are betting now. So we need to change the narrative. We need to teach them that the boys can go and watch play. The girls can also sit down and watch TV. They can support one another. Not that, hey, you, what are you doing here? I will be shouting domestic, but we are the ones shouting. So we have a whole lot. So as a parent, you must intentionally parent your child. Not just parent, it's not a supervisory work anymore. Intentionally put those strategies in place. Learn how to delegate. You are doing this here now. You have put things in place in ensuring. I was so happy when I saw the nanny event people. It's a solution to a problem. We all know when we had babies, we needed to go for seminars, conferences. But hey, this baby will probably be crying there now. But now, there's somebody talk about it and it's there. So it's a beautiful thing. Can this person scale up? Yes. Can this person move around the whole country? Yes. The only thing is that she has turned her passion into profit, or he, funny enough, maybe even be a man that wants it. Somehow, but it's the lady that wants it. Her passion into a profit, but she has put strategies in place to train nannies. We saw a baby this morning now. One baby, 3 nannies were singing for her. Like, well, they should sing for me now. 3 nannies, all well dressed, and we only mark things that we will tell the owner of that nanny event, things that they should put in place so that to just also scale up their business, make it a bit more secure. We already thought about it, that we'll let the organizers know. If the person is there, we'll let the person know. So please, yes, we will speak to her later. So live intentionally, don't just live. I think my time is running off. Live intentionally, not just live. Know yourself. Learn how to say no when it is necessary. As much as possible, we all know that you have to eat healthy, you have to do exercise, you have to do this. But the truth is that our mental health is as equally important as our physical health, if not even more important. And our health, we all know, is our wealth. If you are not healthy, you will even be here. And we know that to have a healthy nation, we need, to have a wealthy nation, we need healthy people. So health is wealth. But the truth is that there is no health without mental health. So go home today as women, and as the men supporting our women, as women, you are the well-organized man. That is the acronym of a woman. Well-organized man. So give yourself a round of applause and say, well, I'm not saying men are not organized, they are organized. But you are organizing him. We all know that, right? Whether you are a boyfriend, you are a girlfriend, or a wife. So that is why, as a well-organized man, start by organizing yourself first, and every other thing will follow. Thank you.